Good evening, everyone. My name is Lamin Bisware. Um, the name of this class is English 1001027. Um, this is level 1, mission 2, the content mission. The topic I chose for this is food security, and that's what I'm going to be talking about. There are several content paths that I am interested in, but the one I would like to explore for the purpose of this course would be food security. And food security, as the name depicts, is probably one of, if not the most important single issue for all of us. None of us can live without food, and thus food is a daily necessity. In fact, this is considered by some people as the most important civil rights issue of the 21st century. This is especially true in the third world country. Sometimes food insecurity in that part of the world could lead to crimes, even war in some countries. As a matter of fact, even here in the States, I've heard stories about people robbing people because they're hungry and they want to get something to eat. Food security, as defined by United States Department of Agriculture, is as follows. Food security means access by all people at all times to enough food for an active, healthy life. And you can see the source up here. So I do have some knowledge about this issue by watching news and also reading news, but I do have keen interest to know more about it. Food sustenance is an important component of global stabilization and peace. Without it, world will be in chaos. It is an old adage in the Gambia that hungry people are angry people, and Gambia is a West African country. However, there is a difference between food security and hunger. Food security is a household level economic and social condition of limited or uncertain access to adequate food, while hunger is an individual level physiological condition that may result from food insecurity. And this definition is also from United States Department of Agriculture. The two are intricately linked. Um, the Committee on National Statistics of the National Academies define hunger similarly, and you can see that here. I don't think I will read that to you or for you. I feel passionate about this subject because there are millions of people, especially children, who live on less than 1 meal a day. This exposes them to a lot of illnesses and a lot of other issues. So, as someone who grew up in a third world country, I've seen people who struggled to have 3 meals a day. So, the importance of this issue can never really escape me. There are ranges of food security. There's a high food security, marginal food security, and low food security, and very low food security. And I will highlight those four levels um, just to put emphasis on them. I'm not going to talk about the high food security. Those are people who really are not too concerned about the problems associated with food security. And marginal is mostly on the periphery. So I will talk about the low food security and very low food security. So low food security, I'm just highlighting that here. Um, Food security is without hunger, but there is a situation where there is a report of reduced quality, variety or desirability of diet, but little or no indication of reduced food intake. So there is no reduced food intake, but the quality is compromised and the variety is also compromised, and sometimes the desirability. And very low food security or food insecurity occurs when reports of multiple indications of eating patterns and reduced food intake are present. Again, this definition is from United States Department of Agriculture. And I also imported a chart from that website to just kind of give an idea, and they are color marked. The yellow is food secure households, and the purple, I think this is purple, is low food security, and the kind of like orange, I think, is night, so I'm having some issues here. It's very low food security. So that's the statistics from 2014, and this is the households in the United States. So imagine how this is like in developing countries. I do not believe that I'm going into this topic with any sort of bias. I am drawn to this subject because of the obvious importance of it. Food security, it is a symbol of progressive, healthy, fulfilled, and stable society. Attaining food security allows a community to focus on other important issues like education, health, prevention, clean and safe water, good transportation networks, and innovation. As the saying goes in certain part of Africa, food, everything else that you have in life besides food is extra. Food is the basic necessity. That is going to be difficult for someone in a developed country to understand, but people who worry about putting food on the table for their children are not too worried about driving a car or worried about putting a gas in a car or like putting on fancy clothes, etc. I think that is a good way to look at it. So any efforts geared towards attaining food security for the entire world has been something that I'm very supportive of. I do have a strong opinion about this issue, especially when I see people like children and women, especially in the war zones, on television starving to death. In recent years, studies have estimated that between 500 and 700 million people in 76 countries studied. 76 countries studied food insecure. Food security is something we all should care about because everybody has to eat. So, but beyond that obvious reason, food is a basic right and is the basic element of society self-reliance. It provides jobs, enhances culture, enables community, and supports public health. In the end, it is suffice to say that any community or nation is beholden to its food suppliers, just like us as individuals. Anybody who feeds you, you're probably beholden to that person. The issue of food security is a major issue in developing countries like the ones in sub-Saharan Africa. It was estimated by USDA in 2015 that there are 870 million people around the globe who do not have access to sufficient supply of nutritious and safe food. The bulk of whom reside in Southeast Asia, Central Africa, and Sub-Saharan Africa. However, even developing countries like the United States has great interest in making sure that the world has food security for the following reasons. Establishing global food security is important because it helps the sustainable economic growth in the nations, and the long-term economic prosperity of the United States is probably dependent on that, and I just highlighted that. And this is also quoted from USDA .gov, because as we help other struggling countries become more food secure and raise income, we also, the United States, expand markets for the American producers, and this in turn creates jobs at home and eventually decrease dependency. So it is a win-win situation, and that is why I think we should all care about this important issue. And you can see the works cited, and I believe that is the end of my presentation.